Buy-in practices. Everybody here is a leader. Am I wrong about that? Are we a room full of leaders? Leaders? Leaders in the room? Yes? Wow, there's only like 7 leaders in this room. Leaders in the room? Yes, thank you. It's not easy being a leader. It is a very challenging thing. At least I find it challenging. Maybe it's easier for you. And because, you know, you never get anything done by yourself. For this past event, I had 63 different team members spread across about 7 different teams. I had the renovation team, of course, that's pretty obvious, broken up within the trades, led by a couple of project managers. I had my on-site team, that was the team that took care of everything outside of the renovation, the food, the entertainment, the grounds, the security. I had my Convoy of Awesome team, which was taking care of the convoy and organizing that and getting schools and signs and where the route was going, all that kind of thing. I had the storytelling team, so I had a photography team, 9 professional photographers that were taking pictures of just about everything. I had the videography team that was producing the promotional videos beforehand, the documentary film that we put out, plus the 6-minute highlight reel that you saw here. I had the volunteer coordination team. I had the sponsor liaison team. All of these people had massive buy-in to this project. All of these people cared. All of these people sacrificed. They put time aside. They put other things in their life away to make this project happen because of the 4 practices I'm going to talk about today. This is where it's at. And let's just go into it. Let's go. Oh, so when I look at buy-in practices, what I'm talking about is human dynamics here. That for any project, you've got the hard skills, and I don't know why they call them the hard skills, because they're really the easy skills, and you have the soft skills. The hard skills, why are they easy? Because they're linear, right? I don't know accounting, I get a book, I get a mentor, I take a course, A, B, C, D, E. I had to learn how to do web design, I got somebody to help me, I researched it, I figured it out, A, B, C. It's a linear path. You're talking about human dynamics, right? It's non-linear. The uncertainty of a project increases with the more people that are in it. Human dynamics is it's like a dance, right? So I give something and the other person gives back, but I'm not in control of what the other person gives back to me. And we need to resonate together. So we need to find a way to kind of, do a little dance where we're having a good time. But you stick in 3, 4, 5 people, and now you all have to be resonating together, and they're all different personality types and have different agendas. Stick in 63 different people working in coordination with common vision, and now you've got huge resonance. It is because of that team that this was successful. It is because of that team that we got that level of sponsorship, and we were able to do a $500,000 event in 9 days. The first of the 4 buy-in practices I want to talk about is lead with purpose and courage. Purpose and courage. Every leader in the world leads with purpose and courage if they're a real leader who's making a difference. I'm going to break these down. I'm going to first talk about lead with purpose. For most projects, people start with the what, right? They're like, what do we want to do? What are the components? What is the scope that we want to do? What's the timeline? When's our deadline? Okay, we've got the scope of what we want to do. How are we going to do that? Who do we need? What are all the people that need to get involved? What are the skill sets we need? What are the resources we need? Where are the revenues? And they never really get to the why. But I propose that the why is the most important thing, and the why is where you need to come from first. Because when you know your why, you know your purpose, and then everything aligns with that. If you're going from the outside in, you're not sure if you have alignment. But if I know my purpose and then I start taking action, which is my how, my action is going to align with my purpose, and then the what is going to align with my purpose as well. And then everybody who is within the tribe or within the team is going to be in alignment with that. Because people get involved not with what you do, but with why you do it. And there's a great book by Simon Sinek called Start With Why that talks about this. It's a great book that I recommend people to get. So the why essentially is your belief, right? The how is the actions you take. The what is the results of those actions. So the fact that I'm doing renovation events has less to do, I could be doing something else. My why has stayed the same, though I'm doing something different here. the what is it doesn't matter as much as the why. No matter what I do in my life, this why will stay the same for me. I'll have an organizational why, and I'll have a personal why, a personal belief. So for me, I believe in the power of community. You guys are all in communities. Anybody else believe in the power of community? Yes? Hands up. Only 8. Thank you. Look around the room. Though everybody, we're all in the same tribe, right? Everybody here believes in the power of community. You hear it in the video again and again and again. Community, community, coming together, community. That this is the belief that has fueled everything. But when I looked at the idea of community, well, what is the power of community? What is that? And when I looked at that, I said, well, it's really about connection around an idea. So I can have connection around a hockey team. I can have connection around a geographical location, a philosophical idea. There are thousands of communities out there because people are connecting around an idea. And so for me, taking the idea of the power of community, when I make it practical, I go, well, it's about connection, and with connection, inspiring people to make a difference. Connection, inspiration. Connection, inspiration. Every single thing that I do is about connection and inspiration. Everything that you'll see today, it's about connection and inspiration. If there's one thing that you remember from this talk, that your job as community leaders is about connecting with people and inspiring people. And it's not about being hypey and all energy. It's about being authentically who you are, owning that, and having a vision and connecting to people. And that is huge power. In some ways, it kind of sounds simple, but it's so easy to lose scope of those things when you're being pulled in multiple directions, and people want this, and things aren't going well at the nonprofit, or there's challenges here. I could see it all the time at the Mustard Seed because they were so inundated with need that you kind of get overwhelmed by what's really important. So every day I wake up after my meditation and I say, connection and inspiration. And that's what this is all about, and that's what drives everything. So always start from your why. Take some time to explore. Maybe your why is not exactly what my why is. That why needs to resonate with you in your bones for you to continue to move forward and make a difference. There you go. The next is lead with courage. This is a huge one for me. All leaders have to have courage. I like to think of courage as, it's stepping through that veil of fear. And in fact, I don't believe that what we call fear is really fear. What we call fear is anxiety. Fear is, it's nighttime and a pack of wolves are chasing you through the forest and you're running for your life. I mean, that's real fear, right? Most of the time what we're talking about is anxiety. Psychologically created anxiety that I'm telling a story about something and I'm causing suffering for myself. I mean, how much suffering do we have in the world as a result of projected psychological stuff that we call anxiety? I believe it's something else. I believe that we have mislabeled this idea of stepping through fear or anxiety. And I'll explain it in this way. Think of a flower, right? A big, beautiful, gorgeous flower, fragrant. And people often, they'll look at a flower and say, I'd like my life to bloom like that. I'd like to be beautiful and fragrant and open, and, but at the same time, I want to be comfortable. I want to be at ease. But when I look at a flower, and this was an experience that happened to me, I won't go into the details of it, but when I look at a flower and I look at the growth phase of the flower, it starts off a bud, it swells, and at a certain point it swells so much that it goes, and it splits on all four sides. Its entire outside splits open. It unfurls itself, turning itself inside out till its heart is exposed to the world. What part of that is comfortable? That is highly uncomfortable. Yet we as human beings say, oh, no, I don't want that bud to split, but I want to be a bloom. No, but I don't want that bud to split. And we're in conflict all the time. See, I believe that what we label as anxiety or fear isn't that at all. It's simply the sensation of growth. Growth is uncomfortable. Be okay with it. Before I standing up here today, I've got to step through this little bud of fear in order to get up here. That's growth. I practice and train myself to be at ease with that and just step through and step through. And when I do that, the tree of my life continues to grow and continues to grow and continues to grow. And you increase your capacity and you become an example for everybody else that's on your team. You don't have to talk about it. Your actions speak the volumes all for themselves. Now, you know, for me to get out and say, you know, without any reason, with $200 in the bank, and say, I'm going to do a $500,000 renovation for the mustard seed, and I got about 3 months to do it. That's when I made my public announcement. I was building a team before that, but I made that public announcement at that point. I'm stepping out into the world with courage, because it's highly uncomfortable to do that. But some people step out into the world pretty darn easily. My project manager, Kent, you saw him there at the beginning where he said it gives you a warm, mushy feeling inside. Steps out into the world easy. You know, he just goes out, no problem. I like marvel at his gumption in that way. But some people, that's not hard for them. Their edge of growth is relationship, being intimate and authentic with other people, right? Other people, their edge of growth is believing in other people. Like, I'm a guy who, I got a bit of a control problem sometimes, and I have to watch that. I kind of like to have everything. You could see I'm very well organized for the things that I do, because I like to make sure everything's tickety-boo. But so one of my edges, I have edges for all of these things actually, but one of my edges is believing in other people and giving them the autonomy to do the job that I know they can even do better than me. And so believing in others can be an edge. Listening to others. Most people listen to people, while they're listening, they're reloading the gun of their conversation, right? Real listening is, I am open to change as a result of hearing you, right? And that's an edge for a lot of people. It's an edge for me, especially when I've got an agenda. When I've got an agenda and I'm trying to pitch somebody and I'm trying to get them on board, you know, and for me to listen to them, you know, that's a different dynamic, you know, completely. So whatever your edge is, those parts of your life where you're feeling uncomfortable and that bud is opening up, just lean into it. You don't have to punch through it. You don't have to like go crazy. Growth happens all by itself. Just look in nature, trees, flowers, plants, they're all going through this process. The birthing process, it's all the same thing. We're growing, we're growing. Relax, gently lean into it, step through that veil. You become a role model to all those people around you, not only for your organization and the events that you put on, but also for your family, for your friends, for all the people who are close to you.